Hello friends. Once again we come back to the Isle. And today we're going to come in contact with a new creature in Gateway, a dinosaur that has only recently made his presence known. His name is Apoch, and he's a freshly hatched Dilophosaurus. However, much like our friend Kyros, the Omniraptor, not long after hatching, he was also abandoned by his family. However, unlike Kyros, Apoch was left in one of the best possible places he could have been, as dismal as it may be. He was left in the East Plains, an area of the Isle standing in stark contrast to the South Plains in which we previously found Kyros. You see, unlike the South Plains, the East Plains is a location rich in food and a singular large water source. And while this is all well and good, Apoch is going to have a much different battle to face than Kyros. While Kyros faced starvation and dehydration, Apoch is going to face the need to immediately begin hunting his own food, some of which will ferociously fight back. He will also need to rise to the top of the food chain, so to speak, for in this area there are many other dinosaurs vying for the same resources he needs. Many of them have been here long before Apoch, and they will have no problem defending their territory whatsoever. So please sit down and take this journey with me as we follow the story of Apoch, the displaced Dilophosaurus. We find Apoch residing in a bush and can hear the presence of flies around him, indicating a recent kill. Right next to him he sees a small compy. Compies are typically scavengers and pose more of a nuisance than an actual threat. Apoch considers him carefully and almost on instinct immediately attacks him. He's getting ready to tear into his kill when he hears the call of a juvenile Stegosaurus, who calls out to him in a friendly way, which Apoch reciprocates. Even so, Apoch has no time for friendship at the moment and must begin his search for real food. While he does have the compy laying nearby, compies are not particularly nutritious, and the diet of a Dilophosaurus is unusually refined, at least for him. He scents the area and is soon able to pick out the scent of a goat. However, as he gets closer, he can hear the sound of a large boar. The agitated animal rushes past Apoch and turns back, wounding him in the process. Startled and bleeding, Apoch falls back to the side and watches as the boar rushes off through the brush. He decides to press on in pursuit of his meal. Locating it soon enough, and ripping into it ravenously. And after finishing off this goat, he can hear the sound of another and sets off in pursuit. As it happens, on his way there, he can hear the sound of flies and locates yet another body. He can't see it very well and hones in his night vision to get a better look. It's the body of another Dilophosaurus, just about his size. He examines the body carefully, wondering what would have done this, and why. He wonders if perhaps this Dilophosaurus had a similar run-in with a boar like he did. Only it didn't make it out alive. Moving on, he can hear noise up ahead and comes across the body of a deer. As a rich source of protein, Apoch is eager to dive right in. However, this kill was made by a raptor, who immediately attacks Apoch, who then runs off into the woods. As the sun rises on the Isle, Apoch is more hungry than ever. Since his encounter with the raptor, he has wandered into an area of the East Plains with a great lake. He can sense a fresh kill and decides to investigate. Coming soon upon a juvenile Troodon feasting on the body of a small Carnotaurus. Regardless of the circumstance, Apoch is determined to have his fill and immediately kills the perceived interloper. In an attempt to get at the nutrient-rich organs, Apoch begins removing chunks of flesh from the body so that he can supplement his diet properly. He then begins to attack the body to give himself a better opening. All the commotion has now drawn the attention of compies, who, as we learned before, are scavengers, eager to get at whatever they can, even if it means waiting on Apoch to do the hard work. Apoch, uninterested in sharing his ill-begotten spoils, attacks and kills one of the compies, hoping to send a message to the other. Finally reaching the organs, he begins looking for the intestines, a valuable source of fat that he needs urgently. He finds and consumes them soon enough, and soon discovers the heart, which will provide him with the last of the protein he'll need to achieve an optimum diet. However, nothing lasts forever on the Isle, and Apoch is hungry soon enough. His feast is very rudely interrupted by a Pachycephalosaurus, who charges him, knocking him violently to the ground. Stunned and badly bruised, Apoch limps off as fast as he can. However, it isn't long before he's approached by a juvenile Omniraptor, who circles him quickly and begins to wound him viciously. Having just barely escaped the clutches of the raptor, and once again finding himself very hungry, Apoch calls out into the vastness of the Isle, hoping for a friend. Will he ever find one? Keep an eye out for the next episode to find out.